3 years sober. That's what we were talking about in this video. And I'm just gonna talk to you about my feelings a little bit on, the pros, the cons, real advice I would give to you if you're considering going sober. So you can think about like what you'll really get out of it and the things you can kind of expect. So like always, leave a like or a comment for the algorithm, please. Let's just get into this, okay? So over a few years ago, I decided to go sober, and the biggest reason, I think it's important to preface why I did it, just so you guys can possibly relate and just kind of get where my mindset is coming from, is I just wanted to have zero excuses as to why I couldn't be successful if I just worked hard as fuck. Like to me, I like working hard. I'm like a disciplined kind of guy. Like, I'm a fitness coach. I help people make transformations and stuff that are sustainable. And I just really believe if you work at something for long enough, no matter how hard it is, the harder it is, the larger the rewards. But if you're patient and you work hard, you can make it happen. I truly believe that. So part of that for me was drinking is kind of something that is getting in the way of me reaching my goals. I wanted to cut it out. And that's like the main thing for why I stopped. All right, I'm 27 years old. Just so you guys know, like I partied in high school. I partied a lot in college. I had the full experience. I've had a lot of fun times when it's come to drinking and partying, living it up with my bros. And I've done a lot of stupid shit too when I've drank. Some of my lowest points mentally, I was still drinking. 3 years, 3 years gone, I'm like the strongest I've been mentally, and obviously I don't use that anymore as a cope. What happened after I quit? It was harder at first to like be in social settings, to go hang out with my friends still that did drink and do all the same stuff and not have the alcohol. I wasn't as comfortable in those social settings, talking to people, talking to girls, being at a bar or a club, and then having, to like dance and shit like that and not have that liquid courage. But as time goes, you do get better in those situations and it becomes easier. To this day, I still like doing all that stuff. Like, I've gone to some music festivals in the last couple years, been sober the whole time, EDM festivals, random miscellaneous concerts and stuff like that. And I still, dance and get wild, might be on some caffeine, but still turn up, have a good time. And you don't have as much anxiety in those moments once you get that under control. That's just something important to note. It does get better, but you will go through this phase where it is tough at first. In terms of my main goal, yes, it has helped me focus a lot more on my career. Okay, I'm like the best I've ever been business-wise, entrepreneurial wise, I guess career passion wise. Like, I've built my coaching up over the last couple years, and I'm at a really strong place with it right now, and I know I have a lot more potential to go with it. So yes, it has been definitely an overall positive thing, but there are some drawbacks to be aware of. Depending on your reasoning for doing it, you may or may not hang out with the same people as much. Like, a lot of my closer friends from high school, they're still my boys. Like, I still have my like core, homies. I just don't talk to them as much or hang out with them as much because they're kind of in like the settled down phase of their lives. They have their jobs, their 9-to-5s, those kinds of jobs and stuff. They still drink and kind of do almost the same things on the weekends. That's not where I'm at with my own life right now. So I don't hang out with them as much. But I could still call them up today and, just go fucking hang out with them and pick up like exactly where we left off, like nothing ever happened. So depending on why you do it, you may or may not, want to hang out with the same people as much. Maybe there's bad influences in your life. Maybe you need to distance yourself from those other people, but your real friends will always be your friends. They'll understand. And like, another weird thing that happened that I noticed was some of the circles that I was in, some people like felt bad for me in a way. Like, I don't know, when people say like, oh, I'm so proud of you, like you're doing amazing, and it just seemed like people almost felt bad for me or something, like almost like in a condescending way. I usually just brushed it off. I didn't really think much of it, but it's kind of interesting how sometimes people think something is wrong with you just because you decide to go sober. Like you're the weird one or something like that. So maybe that's like a personal reflection of how they feel on the inside, but that's just something little I noticed. It's more socially acceptable to go sober, you know, in certain places versus others. That's just, you know, a little thing there. The obvious common big things is like, if the only fun thing you do is looking forward to drinking and partying on the weekends, I was in that stage at one point, more so when I was like in college and that kind of thing. You're gonna have to reframe your whole fucking life in a sense of, okay, what do I really want to do with my life now? What am I gonna look forward to doing? What's gonna bring me real happiness and not have to rely on the drinks to make me feel a certain way? And that's probably one of the bigger, more important things that you will deal with. Like, let's face it, a lot of people, that's all they look forward to, is just drinking and partying on the weekends. And then you kind of chase that feeling of your younger years your whole life. You get drunk on the weekend, you talk about the old times, you know, you might have some laughs and do some stupid shit, but a lot of people hold on to that feeling tightly forever. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that, but that just might be what makes you the happiest. But like, if you let go of drinking, that's all you had, you're gonna have to, you know, learn more about yourself and figure out some new shit. But in that process, a lot of growth can occur for the better. So for me, I definitely 100% believe it was a really good decision for me to go sober. I love where my life is at now. Everybody wishes, you know, things were better in certain aspects, but I'm, you know, very happy with where I am. I feel good. I think if you're thinking about it, it will be challenging in certain ways, but if you're doing it for the right reasons, it'll overall have a positive effect on your life. If you're someone that, you know, is happy with your life, you're feeling overall pretty good about the trajectory of your life, maybe you kind of live a more simple life and you just like having a few brews here and there. I never was the few brew kind of guy. I'm either partying or I'm not. I still do like the taste of beer. I'll have some non-alcoholic beers, especially in the fall time, just because it kind of brings back that nostalgia. But if you're someone that just likes to have, you know, the casual few brews or whatever like that, and you're happy, then props to you. Not everybody, you know, needs to go sober, and it doesn't make anybody better of a person just because they are. I don't know, that's all for this video. Definitely hella unstructured, but I just wanted to talk about it. Overall, I feel good, I feel blessed. As always, thanks for watching. Stay tuned for more. Get yours. I'm gonna get mine. And until the next one, take care of yourselves. Peace.